Hello and welcome to today's episode of Thrive After 45. I'm Denise Drinkwalter, heart whisperer, midlife mirror, and mentor. And every week I am honored to share energy and space with inspiring guests whose stories reflect so many possibilities of thriving beyond 45. Together, we'll uncover the whispers of the heart, the power of midlife transformation, and the wisdom that fuels expansion. What if the patterns you've spent your life surviving are the same ones quietly shaping your business, your money, and your visibility today? It is such an honor and a privilege to introduce and welcome Emma Lyons, an inner power guide with over 15 years of deep energetic, somatic, and subconscious healing work. After burning out in human rights law, she dismantled her own trauma patterns, rebuilt from the ground up, and has since guided over 1,000 people through trauma release, nervous system repair, money block clearing, and reclaiming true sovereignty. Emma helps heart led entrepreneurs stop self sabotaging, dissolve shame, clear inherited trauma, and build businesses that honor their nervous systems rather than overwhelm them. Today, we're going to explore what it truly means to return to your real power and break the cycles you never chose. Welcome to our show today, Emma. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Denise. I appreciate the introduction.
My goodness, nervous system repair. Ah, I think as a society, our nervous systems are shot and we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Help us to understand what that actually can come out looking like so people can actually start to understand when we say nervous system, what is it we're talking about and how can we
Well,
recognize?
it's basically your body. So the mindset work, it works on the mind, but all of the information, all the fears, it's stored in the nervous system, the body. This is like the animal part of us that's like that just automatically goes into trauma mode, that goes into fear. We're not consciously able to control it most of the time. The body
Hmm.
just gets scared or tenses up. And so many of what people call or what people consider to be like personality traits, I'm shy, I'm,
Oh,
you
yes.
know, confront a lot of these things are rather than being personality types, are actually trauma responses that people have adapted to. And now people just think this is who I am. I'm shy. I'm afraid to put myself forward. This is part of my personality. But no, it's because your nervous system is carrying all of that trauma from your childhood and it's holding you back. So often the mindset blocks that people talk about, it's only it's not even half the bucket. It's
Mm,
because most of the trauma, the fear, the extreme fear of visibility that so many people, women have particularly, but people in general, women particularly, we're
right.
afraid of showing up. It's because we have this legacy of kind of being attacked maybe in our childhood or not being allowed to speak up. And also because women, we collectively have been kind of scapegoated by society. So we're carrying the trauma of that. And that's often not consciously or what we're not aware of, but the body is holding it nonetheless. And this is where we've got to start to really open ourselves up to receiving. Because when the nervous system is tense, we can't
You,
receive. We're in survival mode. Even if we don't know it in our head, we feel like we're fine.
right.
Where
Yeah.
the body is in survival mode, the body is holding all that tension. And the way to real freedom is to open up that nervous system and to teach your nervous system that it's safe to open, that it's safe to
Mm.
receive, that it's safe to relax, that the world is a safe place. And that's pretty hard when we've been trained
Yeah.
for 30, 40, 50 years that,
Yeah.
we're going to be something terrible is going to happen. We've got to tense for the worst. So our nervous system is holding on to all of that, even if psychologically we know better.
Isn't
And
that something? Yeah.
this is where so much of this work really needs to start.
So what does that look like? I mean, other than our body doing like and our mind has such power, but we're missing what you're saying is we're missing so much because the rest of it
Yeah.
is being held in our body. So what do we do to start moving forward?
Well, I do somatic work with people, so working with opening up the body, working with breath, working with sound, working with movement of the body,
Okay.
because we're not just a head, we're a whole system, and this
Mm,
is where we start. You know, your brain can know things, and I've done this. We can be in, it's a way of avoiding. It's a trauma response as well. When we so get into, I know this and I know better, and I've studied all about it. I know all the psychology of why I'm like this, but yet our bodies are still stuck in that pattern. And
mm,
sometimes we can use that psychology stuff to kind of keep ourselves stuck. We want to be in, feel like we're in control. And this is one powerful way to keep that sense of control, of holding on for dear life. And, the work that I do is all about opening that up and I work a lot with the inner critic, is what it's generally known as. And what I've realized is that this so-called inner critic,
hmm.
it's kind of it ticks all the box of the narcissist, but the call is coming from inside the house. And yet we're taught to take this thing to therapy, to send love to it and treat it like a wounded child. And what
Yep.
I've realized is that's not the way to deal with this shaming thing. It's like a parasite. It's sucking us dry. And it does, if you go through the DSM
Yes.
definition of a narcissist, the inner critic of so many of us, it fits that bill. It's grandiose, self-important, it knows best, it's got all these
Mm,
fantasies, it's special, it's high and mighty, it's entitled. The only one that it doesn't tick is that it's interpersonally exploitative, because who it exploits is you. It makes
right.
dance to its tune. And that is when we're stuck in shame, the nervous system is basically held hostage. And that's what this so-called inner critic, I call it the inner narcissist, that's what it does. It has us under house arrest. And so many people
Mm,
don't even realize that we're there, because we've all been taught since childhood that shame is good for you, that you need to feel shame in order to be a good person. And we're carrying all that. And that means that we just kind of remain, no matter what we do, we're still stuck in this kind of trauma response, in this kind of shame loop that keeps us small, that keeps us
right.
from expanding into our power and reclaiming our
Mm.
space and really receiving what we're here to receive in this lifetime.
Amazing. So when you're talking about shame,
Yes.
my brain goes to, well, I know what shame is. Do
Mm.
I really know what shame is? I'm starting to get curious. What do you see shame as being?
Well, shame is that thought that it's often defined as the belief that I'm bad, something wrong with me.
Yep.
But if
Okay.
we look at shame, really,
Yep.
shame is actually it's a lethal cocktail of a bunch of self-attack, self-loathing, anger turned inwards, resentment, fear, all this bunch of emotions that are basically turned against the self. And then from down there, from downstream from that, you get all these beliefs that I'm wrong, that I'm ugly, that I'm too fat, that I'm too thin, that I've got too many wrinkles, that I've got a big ass, that I've got a big nose,
Right.
whatever those things that people say. This is the shaming voice that really rules our life and that tells you, and so many women are going to relate to this because so many
Right.
women are
Yeah.
stuck in that,
Yep.
imposter syndrome.
Yep.
A lot of that, pretty much everyone has that. And if we trace that back to, you can see that's shame. That's
Hmm.
shame with better PR, but nobody wants to talk about shame because shame is a
Yeah.
dirty four-letter word.
Right.
Nobody wants to talk about it. It's something that we should keep on the side. We're ashamed
Right.
of our shame. We don't want to own it. And that means we avoid the issue when we pretend it's not there and we suppress
Right.
it. And my whole message is really about breaking free from this shame voice because this shame voice is kind of an implant from culture. I could talk about that. Women have a double dose of
Mm-hmm.
it because, we collectively as women have been scapegoated by society, for all the sexual things and
Right.
dirty bits that nobody wants to talk about. It's all been dumped on women. So we're carrying all that.
Right.
And that's so much of that is shame.
Yeah.
And this shame is also, when I started looking into this, I started to
Mm-hmm.
realize that, trauma, when it passes down intergenerationally, we need the shame in order for it to stick. Like if you look at an animal that,
Mm-hmm.
wild animal, they might experience a trauma, but then they go and have a good shake. After they've been hunted by the lion, they have a good shake. They shake it out. They're not still thinking about that 20 years later. So what's the difference with us humans? It's shame.
Mm-hmm.
Shame is the glue that keeps that intergenerational trauma going. When you take shame out of the equation, it's
Mm-hmm.
really, shame is like the granddaddy of, it's such it's not normal emotion. It's like the granddaddy, the worst possible thing, because it's the only so-called emotion. I don't think it's not even a normal emotion.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
really personal attack on the self.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gaslit every single day and told that shame is good for you.
Yeah.
Even in the English language, particularly, you have no shame, Denise. You have no shame. You don't have enough shame. You're
Mm.
not a good person. You're not a good girl. Or you have no shame. It's an insult that we're throwing around there. And what I've realized in my work is
Mm-hmm.
that shame is a cultural implant that's really always every 100% of the time, it's about control. If there's a child here
Okay.
who's making noise and I want him to shut up,
Mm-hmm.
I shame him very quickly. He gets
Mm-hmm.
quiet, and I get to feel, oh, I'm so important. I'm so big. Look what I've done. It's a narcissistic hit. And we do that because we're carrying so much shame and we
Right.
want to get rid of it. So how do we get rid of it? A lot of women do this. We do this to other women. We're
Mm-hmm.
feeling the shame. We don't, it's a bit uncomfortable, so we shame that woman over there. Look at her
Right.
big ass, look at her wrinkles, and then suddenly we
Right.
feel like, oh, I'm so powerful. Look what I did to that person. And it relieves us
I
temporarily
was gonna
of that
say,
sense
does
of
it?
shame.
Yeah.
It does not. It's not effective, but it gives us that like little ooh. But it's a narcissistic hit, is what it is, because
Right.
it makes us feel powerful. And when
Right.
we do that to ourselves or other people, we are playing that shame game. We are passing it on. We are ensuring that it keeps going. And
Mm-hmm.
what I've realized is that we can cut off that shame game by working with our own inner critic, the inner narcissist,
Right.
because we only experience shame. Like if you tell me that I've got, or if I say to you, Denise,
Mm-hmm.
that I hate your purple hair, you're gonna just
Mm-hmm.
think I'm a crazy woman.
Mm-hmm.
You're only gonna feel shame if you have that inner narcissist voice that says, yes, you do have
Right.
a big nose or big ass or
Yeah.
whatever the shaming words are. That inner narcissist has to agree in order for you to experience shame. Otherwise, you're just gonna think that person is crazy and see it for what it is. And
Right.
shame is always a projection. It's always a projection,
Okay.
because we're projecting something that's uncomfortable. I feel something uncomfortable. I want to put it on you so I don't have to feel it. And
Right.
that's the sneaky way that shame keeps being passed down from generation to generation. But we absolutely have the power to break the cycle.
Mm-hmm. Which is so important, which is my next question. We have the power to break that cycle, not only for years to come, but for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we do that shame game, and I mean, I think of, you know, we all can think of times in our lives where women have shamed others and made themselves feel great as a result because you take it off yourself and push it to something else.
Yeah.
When that happens, are you actually growing it inside yourself at the same time?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are because you're shaming them. You're putting that shame on them. You're creating more to be ashamed of. So it
Right.
doesn't dissipate the shame,
Yeah.
actually, in a sense. Like the empathy is down there underneath it. And
Okay.
this is why I have such a big problem with the way it's shame is presented as this moral compass. And even
Mm.
therapists, all everyone, they talk about, I even had someone reach out to me on Substack recently, and they
Mm-hmm.
said their therapist had told them that it's good that you experience shame because you've done lots of bad things. So shame in our society is seen as long as if you've done something bad, if you it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. If you feel shame about it, then that means you're still a good person, so everything's okay. So it's yeah, it's a sneaky one. And
Interesting one,
mhm,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, but the thing is, shame is a really, really bad way to change someone's behavior in the medium to long
Sure.
term. Like if I shame this child is talking, I shame him, he shuts up for now, but he's not going to realize why. He's just going
Mm-hmm.
to feel
Yeah.
bad and pass that on.
Right.
I was on a podcast a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and this woman was talking to me. She said something really good about her aunt, who was, when they were
Yeah.
children, they were out eating ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And this adult came up to them and said, "You shouldn't be eating ice cream. They'll make you fat." And these girls were a little bit pudgy, but you know what they did? They could have felt so shame there because that's what he was trying to do. He was projecting his own beliefs and fears onto them. These girls, they could have dropped their ice cream, run away,
Mm-hmm.
so many things that could have happened to shame
Sure.
themselves for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
But you know what they did? They laughed in his face and continued to eat their ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the power of breaking free of shame. Nobody can shame you unless you have that inner narcissist activated that agrees with you.
Yeah.
And this is the power. This is what I do. I help people to break up with that narcissistic
Love
shaming
that.
voice.
Yeah.
And this is really different from what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
Everyone else out there, they're talking about getting comfortable with shame. Even people like Brene Brown, who I really love
Mm-hmm.
and respect,
Mm-hmm.
she all of these people are talking from inside the shame cage. They're
Mm-hmm.
talking from inside a culture where shame is normalized, and shame is just part of what it is to be human. And we just have to cope with it and get on
Mm-hmm.
with our lives and accept that shame is good, is part of what it is to be human. I've really come to see that it's not that. Shame, if you look at the story of Adam and Eve,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that as an allegory of shame. But shame does not have any positive attributes. If we look at anger, somebody's crossed my boundary, I get angry. That's a
Sure.
good thing. I need to
Yep.
tell you to stop and,
Yeah.
and don't come any further. This is a
Yeah.
powerful thing. Sometimes anger can get out of control, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but we need anger. We need
Mm-hmm.
anger. Um, and so all the other emotions, there's a point, there's a function to them. But
Right.
when we come to shame, there's nothing.
Right.
Shame does not help anyone. Shame is a tool of control, domination. It's always a manipulation every single time. When I
Mm.
shame someone, if I shame you
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
like we talked about, I'm just passing on my own shame. So
Right.
it's
Right.
and it's a manipulation every single time because I'm trying to gaslight you into thinking that it's you rather than me that wants something, you
Right.
know?
Right. Yeah.
So it's very, very manipulative and it's so, so normalized absolutely everywhere,
Mm.
not just amongst women,
Of
everywhere.
course. Yeah.
Men as well. I mean, look at the hustle culture, and
Mm-hmm.
women are part of that as well. This is very shaming.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
taught that if you just shame yourself enough, then you'll pull up your socks and get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It,
What's
it's
wrong with
that
me? Yeah.
Yeah, and we
Mm-hmm.
believe that. This is why people have been
Mm-hmm.
shaming themselves for 40, 50, 60 years. Look, don't believe me. See where it's got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How has that helped? How's
Yeah.
that working for you, that shame?
Right.
Let me
Right.
tell you, if you're trying to manifest something big in
Mm-hmm.
your life, shame is going to anchor you and make sure you don't get that. It's really a massive reason why people don't manifest what they want because they're carrying all this shame. Maybe so a lot of the times it's unconscious shame that they're not even aware of.
Right. Yeah.
Shame is also the root of narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
This is why
Mm-hmm.
narcissists, look at Donald Trump or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
if he really was a psychopath and didn't care about other people, he gets angry when people make jokes about him because it triggers his shame that's
Mm-hmm.
repressed down there. So he has a bunch of repressed shame, and that's what narcissism is. Narcissism is repressed shame gone taken over, you know, and People like Brene Brown, for example, she says that if you don't experience shame, that would make you a narcissist, or that would make you a psychopath, rather.
Mm,
But
hmm.
if we look at psychopaths carefully, not having shame is not the problem. The real problem is that they don't have empathy. That's the problem. And psychopaths don't experience empathy, so they can't experience shame.
Right.
Narcissists are a different story. The rest of us, and the funny thing is, when you look at the facts and the reality of how shame works with the body and the nervous system,
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
we experience shame, it actually shuts down our ability to empathize. So it kills our ability to empathize, even with ourselves. We're like going for the kill and punch ourselves. I
Okay.
gotta,
Okay.
and that's what shame does. It makes it kills our empathy, and
Okay.
that's we don't need more shame. We need more empathy. Thank you very much.
Right. Right. Right.
That's the real problem.
Okay. Okay. So when we know of people who are doing all kinds of incredible things, but are still feeling stuck after doing all the mindset work.
Yeah.
What's really at the root cause? Is it the fact that everything, the subconscious, and it's stuck in your body? Like, what's going on there from your perspective?
Yeah, it's in your body. Your nervous system is tensing. And this is the thing. I mean, it's one of the reasons that like this is what visibility blocks are shame. People afraid to show up. And
Hmm.
like even when you do show up, and I've experienced this personally along
Yeah.
with my clients, even if you're doing all the things and showing up, shame says you're not okay. There's something wrong with you. You've got to hide. So we're not showing up authentically when we're carrying shame. And pretty much we all have shame. We've been taught shame. It's
Right.
been
Right.
intergenerational. Shame is a taught, it's not even a real
Yeah.
emotion. It's taught, it's a control mechanism, it's a construct that we as a society have taken on, and we've been told that it's good for you and that you need shame in order to be a good person. But as I said, shame doesn't work to make people better. Shame makes
Right.
people worse. Shame makes when you're carrying shame, you're telling yourself, I'm not good, I have to hide. It puts us into survival mode. So we feel like
Right.
somebody says something, we want to we
Yeah.
want to hit them, we want to kill them. We're feeling
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's hitting that
S-
survival part of us. So we feel threatened.
Yeah.
That's not a place to start to changing behavior in
Right.
the
Yeah.
long term. In the short term, it looks very impressive. And this is why
Right.
therapists, this is why coaches,
Right.
everybody uses it. It's been so normalized, but
Hmm.
it's so toxic. And when people experience the shame, they pass it on. It's not something that you can digest. And this is
Right.
why, people saying sit down and feel your shame, it can be very dangerous for lots of people because then people go into all those self-attacking thoughts. And where does
Hmm.
shame lead at the bottom? At the bottom, like it's not like sadness. You experience sadness and then you experience
Right.
anger, you experience something else. Shame isn't like that. You sit down with your shame and what's underneath it? More shame. What's underneath
Yeah.
that? More shame. It's a bottomless pit of shame that eventually comes to a place where it says, you might as well not be alive. And,
Mm.
shame has done that to me. It's made me feel that way. And I don't believe that people would ever, take that final act if shame were not involved. We need to
Hmm.
have shame in order to feel no matter how bad things get in your life, shame needs to be there to say there's no point, you're a waste of oxygen or whatever that voice
Mm.
says. And for
Hmm.
us to actually take that action.
Right. Right.
We mean, shame is in so many, like up to genocide. Like shame is essential
Hmm.
part of the substrate there that gets passed on and
Yeah.
not dealt with and reinforced. So shame is a really serious thing,
Yeah.
but where it's so normalized and we do it all the time. We see it
Right.
everywhere. People do it to their parents, teachers do it to their students, parents do it to their kids. It's
Hmm.
uh, it's happening constantly. It's so pervasive that
Hmm.
people just see it as part of what it is to be human. And this is where
Right.
where
Yeah.
I come in to tell people that really no,
Wait a
you do
minute.
not need shame.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Reality
Hmm.
check. You do not need shame.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
shaming yourself.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like we're hostage. It's like we have what Stockholm syndrome with shame. We as a society are addicted to it. We're shooting up on shame
Right. Right.
because we're
Right.
taught, oh, I need shame. It's like we're unconsciously stuck there. the
Right.
body can get used to any kind of emotion, and shame is so pervasive with so many of us,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so hidden as well. That sometimes people don't even
Exactly.
look at it.
Yeah.
Um, so the shame is huge. Shame is
Yeah.
what's keeping women down in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is why I work with a lot of women who are really ready to rise and move beyond their shame and move into that next level. Because, like I said, shame is the opposite of authenticity. When you're carrying shame, shame tells you you're not good enough as who you are. So you have
Hmm.
to hide. You have to,
Hmm.
and physiologically, this is what shame does to you. It makes you hide. It makes
Right.
you in. It makes you
Right.
go, "Ooh,
Pull
I need
in.
to go
Yeah.
in. I need to go into my survival space because I'm being attacked right now." That's
Right.
not where you want to start making real changes.
Hmm.
That's the wrong place to start. We need to start by separating the behavior from the person, and this is how we make long-term changes. We don't blame the person and do ad hominem attacks. We talk about the behavior
Hmm.
and help people expand and become more comfortable with who they are so that
Right.
you can
Right.
really show up in all your power and people can feel that. We've got
Yeah.
to
Oh.
reclaim our shameless. This
Hmm.
word shameless, it's an insult, in our
Hmm.
society. But I want to reclaim that word because
Hmm.
every single other word in the English language that ends in LESS, homeless, hopeless, it means you don't have any of that thing. But when we call someone shameless, it's an insult. And often those people are acting out of repressed shame. If you think of someone who's on,
Hmm.
alcohol or something,
Hmm.
shame kind of,
Hmm.
or the alcohol kind of, this is why we drink and this is why alcohol shame is essential component for addictions as well because when you
Hmm.
drink puts the mute button on shame for a few
Right.
hours and then
Right.
the
Yeah.
cycle spins out. So
Hmm.
I've been on podcasts about alcoholism and addiction
Hmm.
and even bulimia, and what do they all have in common? It's shame.
Shame.
Shame
Yeah.
is really the driver of all of these things because it's bulimia, anorexia, it's self-attack, it's
Yes, of
self-destruction. this is
course.
this is the definition of shame.
Yeah.
Alcoholism, all kinds of addictions,
Yeah.
it's trying to cover up that shame, and but shame is there. Shame is the driver, and we can cut it off. We can take back our power by rejecting this shame that we've been
Hmm.
fed for thousands of years as a society.
Right.
We don't need it. But the only person that benefits from shame is the people pulling the strings at the top. And that's
Hmm.
not you. Take back your power, take back
Right.
your
Right.
integrity, become who you really are. Stop trying to hide. And when you stop hiding and become who you are, that start living shamelessly, people really feel that.
It's
People can respond to it because it's so freaking rare.
Well, I was just gonna say it's probably such a rarity that people are in awe and just want to come closer to those who live shameless, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Shameless is authentic, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Love it.
Shameless is your authenticity.
Yeah.
Reclaim your shameless. This is how you find out who you really are. Because when you're carrying shame, you're hiding. You're
Of
like, I'm not good enough.
course.
Something's wrong
Yeah.
with me. I gotta hold up my barrier. And we don't even know
Yeah.
who we are because we're too busy
Yeah.
attacking ourselves all the
Yeah.
time.
We won't know who we are because we're not coming through a full lens that's clear.
Yeah.
It's
No.
it's got, history piled up upon history, and as a result, we can't see who we really are until
Yeah.
we come to you and get the support and the brilliance that the work that you do around everything that you do to support your clients. So good. This conversation has been incredible. I'm sitting here going, yes, yes, I can. This is good. I can see this. I can hear this. I can understand this. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to take life through a new lens and look at where it is in my world that I
Yeah.
am experiencing, thinking about, feeling shame. Yeah.
Exactly. And when are you shaming yourself, even in little ways?
Oh,
Drop something. I'm stupid. That's
yeah,
shaming, guys.
for sure.
That's shaming. Any kind of attack on the person. And watch, if you go around like this homework, like go out tomorrow and have a
Yeah.
look and see how often you see people shaming each other.
Hmm.
Watch how that voice inside your head, that narcissist shames you.
Yeah.
You drop something. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
You know, that is shaming. And when we stop shaming ourselves, for most of us, when we stop shaming ourselves, we stop shaming other people. We only shame
Mm,
others to the degree that we shame ourselves.
love
That's
that.
not true for, narcissists and definitely psychopaths. But
Sure,
for
but
most of
yeah,
us that are,
yeah,
fairly sound of mind, That's the truism.
Nice. Love that. Love that. Is there this has been golden, absolutely incredible, such a great conversation. And there's two things that I want to say. One, women listening, thrive after 45. Yes, we can do this. Yes, there is availability to understand ourselves in a brand new way through a new shameless lens. And
Yes,
when we do that, when you do that for you, by you, because of you, everything around you will change. Just like
yeah,
Emma shared, when people who do this work and are shameless, the energy that exists as a result changes not only their world, but all those who are in contact with them near and far.
absolutely. And
Right?
so many things like people pleasing, so many things that women complain about are shame.
Yeah.
People
Mm,
pleasing, imposter syndrome, all that, how many
mm-hmm.
people please other people. That's
Mm-hmm.
because you have all this shame. You're trying to impress someone else.
Right.
Get rid of that narcissist. Break up with that narcissist. And
Right.
I have a system, if you'd like to hear it, about how to
Yes.
really break
Yeah.
that shame attack when it
Yep.
strikes. And it can, I mean, I've had shame attacks.
Mm-hmm.
When shame attack, but it's much stronger than even a fear attack because it's like you
Mm,
are like attacking you. That narcissist
right.
is really going for you. Your body shuts down, you go red, you feel heat,
Mm,
your body goes, this is what shame does to you. It makes you go inside your shell and also become more narcissistic because you're just thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about anyone else. You just go
yeah.
inside yourself. So it's not good for anyone. It's not good
Yeah.
for you. It's not
Nobody
good for the
wins.
people around you.
Yeah.
It's a lose lose.
Yeah.
So the way when shame strikes, this is what
Mm-hmm.
to do. It's called break, BREAK.
Mm-hmm.
So first one is, recognize that voice that says I don't know, that you're too old.
Yeah.
Recognize this isn't your voice. It's a spell. We're all collectively under this spell, this trance state. So you catch it, you interrupt it, don't overthink it, just name it. This is a trance and really disrupts the loop instantly. And
Mm,
shame is a trance that we're collectively under.
mm-hmm.
So we want to go on to the next one, which is R, refuse to engage. You don't try to argue
Love
with the
that.
trans, do you? You don't argue with the trans. You don't argue with the narcissist either.
Right.
That's why Dr. Ramani says, don't go deep, don't
Mm-hmm.
defend, don't engage, don't explain, and
Yep.
don't personalize. Just say, not today.
Yeah.
Not today. But you don't have to be polite to this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
many of us are out there trying to be polite to this voice when it's trying to kill you. When
Yeah.
we're taught and told that this voice is trying to look after you, it's trying to keep you safe. That's a
Mm-hmm.
huge gaslight as well, because just like narcissists, they'll punch you in the
Mm,
face, kick you in the
mm-hmm.
balls, and then tell
Mm-hmm.
you, "I'm trying to protect you."
Mm,
They are not trying to protect you. This
right.
inner voice is not trying to protect you. Guess what? It's out for itself. It's
Mm-hmm.
out for itself. It's not out for you. So don't engage. Not
Mm-hmm.
today. Not today, Satan. You
Yep.
don't need to be. Don't owe it any courtesy. Then you want to expose the lie. So
Okay. Mm-hmm.
at the shame-based programming, this is control, this is not my story. And
Mm,
really just speaking that disarms its power. And I
mm-hmm.
talked about how shame kind of does a full body hijack. So
Right.
we need to come back to the body. And this is anchor in truth, anchor in your
Nice.
body. Come back to your body, feel your breath, plant your feet, say your name, the year, and really you could even give
Mm-hmm.
your nervous system, I'm safe, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sovereign, I'm still here, we're still good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's A. And then K is kick it out.
Yes.
So shake it off, stomp it out. Say, this is not mine. This is inherited shame.
Yeah.
This is not yours to carry anymore. And literally shake it off your body. This is what, animals do after they've been hunted.
Yeah.
They survive, they actually physically shake it off. And then, 5 years later, they're not sitting there, oh my God,
Yes.
got me, oh my God, I'm something. Animals
Yeah.
don't do that. And animals that are domesticated do that because they're taking on our toxic shame. But we don't have to do that anymore. We can break the cycle for ourselves. And like you said, everyone, every animal, every being around you will feel that shamelessness. And
Mm-hmm.
that is a power, that is an elevating, that's an inspiring energy that is very rare in the world today.
Love that. And such a simple acronym, break. So thank you so much for sharing that and giving us some concrete, I can go do this, I can practice this, I can become aware, and I can actually respond and take ownership and responsibility and kick the narcissist out of my inner critic brain. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you, Emma. Is there anything that you would love to share before we close off today? Is there anything that you haven't shared? I know there's lots, but is there is there one golden nugget that you want to end with?
You don't need shame.
Yeah,
You don't need it for anything. It doesn't make you better. It makes you worse.
there you go.
It makes you narcissistic. It makes you self-centered. It makes you unhappy.
Mm,
Stop shaming yourself and stop shaming other people. You can break that cycle for yourself and for the world. It can start with you. And now I have a free gift
mhm.
if I could talk about that. Yeah, I have a
Absolutely. Yeah.
so it's 5 signs that it's time to break up with your 5 signs it's time to break up with your inner narcissist. So if you're listening to this and think, oh my God, yes, I do shame myself. That voice, it does shame me a
Yep.
lot, and I can see how it's holding me back.
Hmm.
It's a checklist. You can see 5 signs that it's actually time to break up with that, and it's also got concrete steps beyond what we've spoken
Nice.
about today about how to really put that in place. And you can find that at tinyurl.com/not today narc, NARC, not today narc. So yeah,
Okay.
definitely check that out if you are inspired, and follow me,
Perfect.
reach out to me, send me a
Yeah.
message, how you found this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm trauma.matrix on Instagram and everywhere.
Hmm. Perfect. We will absolutely take all that information and put it in our show notes as well. For those who are listening and don't have paper and pencil at the moment, we will make sure we get that information from Emma and it will go in the show notes. So thank you so much for that free gift. We always love gifts from our incredible guests on this show because they're always golden. Emma, thank you so much for the work you do, for the awareness that has brought you to doing the work you are doing now. And we so appreciate this time and energy and space with you today. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Denise.
If you felt something, heard something, been moved by something in our conversation today, take action for you, by you, because of you. You've got this, ladies. The ball is in your court. Please make sure that you begin this journey around understanding and taking control of and becoming closer to shameless every single day. Thank you, Emma. Thank you for listening. Please follow, share, give us a review. We love to hear from you. Have a great day, everyone.